بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء وإمام المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه والتابعين لهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وبعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Respected brothers and sisters in Islam, we ask Almighty Allah to continue to guide us to the right path. After giving thanks and adoration to Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and sending salutations and blessing upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his household, his companions, and those who succeeded them with sincerity until the day of judgment. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, may Almighty Allah grant us beneficial knowledge. May He grant us good understanding of Islam, of the Quran. May He make the recitation of the Quran easier for us. May He make the memorization easier for us. Whosoever has memorized the Quran among us, may Almighty Allah facilitate his or her memorization for them. Allahumma ameen. And we that we are here to memorize it, may Almighty Allah grant us the ability to memorize it. May Almighty Allah count us among those that will memorize the Quran. Allahumma ameen. Understand the message the Quran is passing and walk with it. Allahumma ameen. May Almighty Allah bless us with the Quran, both in this world and hereafter. Allahumma ameen. Inshallah, we continue with our class without any delay. Inshallah. Inshallah, we know our procedures and our steps. Inshallah, we continue. May Almighty Allah make it easier for us. Ameen. Thumma ameen. Today, inshallah, we are taking a new topic. We are taking the rules of laam al and laam al-faal. We have laam al and what? Laam al-faal. So today we are starting the rules of these two lams. Suleyman al-Jamzuri in text 24, he said, للام الحالان قبل الأحرف أولاهما إظهارها فلتعرفي قبل 4 مع 10 خذ علمه من إبغ حجك وخف عقيمه ثانيهما إدغامها في 4 و10 أيضا ورمزها فعي طيب ثم صل رحما تفز ضف ذا نعم دع سوء ظن زر شريفا للكرم للام الحالان قبل الأحرف أولاهما إظهارها فلتعرفي قبل 4 مع 10 خذ علمه من إبغ حجك وخف عقيمه ثانيهما إدغامها في 4 و10 أيضا ورمزها فعي طيب ثم صل رحما تفز ضف ذا نعم دع سوء ظن زر شريفا للكرم للام الحالان قبل الأحرف أولاهما إظهارها فلتعرفي قبل 4 مع 10 خذ علمه من إبغ حجك وخف عقيمه ثانيهما إدغامها في 4 و10 أيضا ورمزها فعي طيب ثم صل رحما تفز ضف ذا نعم دع سوء ظن زر شريفا للكرم للام الحالان قبل الأحرف أولاهما إظهارها فلتعرفي قبل 4 مع 10 خذ علمه من إبغ حجك وخف عقيمه ثانيهما إدغامها في 4 و10 أيضا ورمزها فعي طيب ثم صل رحما تفز ضف ذا نعم دع سوء ظن زر شريفا للكرم. MashaAllah. As our principle, we will take the first line we have under حكم لام al ولام الفيل. We'll break it into vocabulary. Then, inshallah, like that. So the ruling of lam of al-lam of the verb. Al-fi'l means verb. So in this chapter, the author Suleiman al-Jamzuri rahimahullah discusses two types of lam. He talks about two types of lams. The lam at-ta'rif, that's definite article, and the lam which appears in the verb. So the lam at-ta'rif is used to make an indefinite word definite. For example, qalamun, a pen. We want to make it definite. We add the al to it. It will now be what? Al-qalam, meaning the pen. Nurun, a light. We want to make it the light. We say an-nuru, the light. So the words qalam and nur are indefinite since they refer to any pen or any light. So by adding the lam at-ta'rif, that is al, the words become definite. In that, they now refer to a word, to a particular pen or light. To a particular pen or light. So the second lam the author discusses is the lam sakina, which appears in a verb. Whether the verb is a past tense, that's madin. For example, anzalna, anzalna. Present, that's present, or future tense, that's mudari'. For example, yal'abu, or an imperative command, that is amr. Example, wa'alqi asak. So the author Suleiman al-Jamzuri rahimahullah talks or discusses these lams particularly in regard to whether izhar be made in them or idgham. So in text 24, the author said, لِلَّامِ الْحَالَانِ قَبْلَ الْأَحْرُفِ أُولَاهُمَا إِظْهَارُهَا فَلْتَعْرِفِ. So, halan meaning two conditions. Ulahu means the first of the two. Izharuma means the izhar of it, meaning the izhar of the lam. فَلْتَعْرِفِ means so know, meaning know this rule of izhar of the lam. Most copies mention it like this. However, it can also be read as فَلْيُعْرَفِ. فَلْيُعْرَفِ, its meaning would then be let this rule of izhar of the lam be known. It would also be read as فَلْتُعْرَفِ, meaning let this type of lam be known. That's lam of izhar. So when we want to translate this text, we said for the lam, lillami al, for the lam of al, there are two conditions before the letters, meaning the letters of the alphabet, al-huruf al-hijaiyya. So the first, ulahuma, the first of these two is what? Is izhar of it, meaning izhar of this lam, of the lam. So know this, فَلْتَعْرِفِ. So to explain further, the author begins by explaining lam at-ta'rif. Lam at-ta'rif, stating that it cannot be void. It cannot be void of one of two conditions when appearing before the letters of words of the alphabet. The first of the two conditions is izhar. Is what? Izhar, where the lam should be read clearly. So in the following line, the author mentions all the letters of the alphabet, which if preceded by a lam, at-ta'rif, require izhar to be made. Require izhar what? To be made. That's text 25. Where he said, قَبَلَ أَرْبَعٍ مَعَ عَشَرَةٍ خُذْ عِلْمَهُ مِنْ إِبْغِ حَجَّكَ وَخُذْ عَقِيمَهُ. So, أَرْبَعٍ مَعَ عَشَرَةٍ meaning 4 with 10, that's 14. 4 with 10, that's 14. Then, ilma'u, it's knowledge. Knowledge of the 14 letters, where izhar will be made. Ibagi, desire, wishful. Hajjaka, your hajj, pilgrimage. Khaf, fear, aqimahu, it will be fruitful, then or unproductive or barren. That is aqimahu. Then translate this line or text. He said, قَبْلَ أَرْبَعٍ مَعَ عَشْرَةٍ. Before 4 with 10, that's 14 letters. Before 4 or before 14 letters. Take its knowledge from the words, إِبْغِي حَجَّكَ وَخَفْ عَقِيمَهُ. So, meaning of this is, be desirous of your pilgrimage and fear that it be barren. So it has no much meaning. So to explain this line, so in this line the author Suleiman al-Jamzuri mentions 14 letters by which idhar of the lam at-tarif will be made. So if any of these letters appear after the lam at-tarif, then it will be read clearly. That's idhar. To remember these letters, the student needs simply to memorize the combination of words. إِبَغِي حَجَّكَ وَخَفْ عَقِيمَهُ. إِبَغِي حَجَّكَ وَخَفْ عَقِيمَهُ. And the lives of it that we have watched, that we have talked about or discussed about or explained before. What you just need is to what? There are key points you need to be memorizing. Like letters of al-izhar. So you memorize it. Letters of idgham, yarmalu, you memorize it. Then the ba, the letters of al-ikhfa. صف ذا ثنا كم جاد شخص قد سما دم طيما زد في تقى ضع ظالما. So and this one you also memorize it. So إبغي حجك وخف عقيمه. That's letters of these are letters when the al-ta'rif appears or lam ta'rif appears before it. So you apply the rule of idhar, or idhar will be applied, meaning you pronounce the lam out and clearly, out and what and clearly. Barakallahu fikum. This kind of lam, or this type of lam that the rule of izhar or izhar is applied, so that you read it clearly. This type of lam that you read it clearly, it appears before any of these 14 letters. It's called al-lam al-qamariyah. It is called al-lam al-qamariyah because of how clear and obvious it is in the word al-qamar. Al-Qamar, Al-Qamar, Al-Qamar. Then we have so many examples, like Ibagi the Hamza. We have it in the Quran where Almighty Allah is saying, وَإِنَّهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ لَمِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ. وَإِنَّهُ فِي you do the izhar of the lam. Al-Akhirah, Al-Akhirah. وَإِنَّهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ لَمِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ فَلْيَعْبُدُوا رَبَّ هَذَا الْبَيْتِ. هَذَا اللام before ba. هَذَا الْبَيْتِ غَيْن هُوَ اللَّهُ الَّذِي لَا إله إلا هو عالم الغيب والشهادة هو الرحمن الرحيم هو الله الذي لا إله إلا هو عالم الغيب الغيب. You pronounce the lam clearly because it appears before al-ghayn. Al-ghayn is part of ibghi hajjaka wa khufakima. Then ha سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا من المسجد الحرام من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى. We also have the example of mim here. Another example of Hamza al-Aqsa. Hajjaka, Jim, example of Jim. Tilkal Jannah. Al-Izhar, pronounce the lam clearly. Tilkal Jannatu allati nurithu min ibadina man kana taqiyya. Al-Kaf, Hajjaka, Kaf. ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين. الكاف. أم حسبت أن أصحاب الكهف أصحاب الكهف والرقيم كانوا من آياتنا عجبا. وللرجال نصيب مما ترك الوالدان. عين I think let's bring خاف وخف أقيمه وخف خا. I can bring a poem. There's a poem saying هي الأخلاق تنبت كالنبات إذا سقيت بماء المكرمات. هي الأخلاق هي الأخلاق. Okay, example of meme, or let me bring example of ayn. والله ذو الفضل العظيم. Example of meme. وما أنزل على الملكين ببابل هاروت وماروت. Then الياء كأنهن كأنهن الياقوت والمرجان. Another example of meme. Then الهاء ولقد جاءهم من ربهم الهدى. off. ومن يغلل يأت بما غل يوم القيامة. الأرض. Another example of Hamza. إن الله لا يخفى عليه شيء في الأرض ولا في السماء. So we have many examples. I think this should be enough for us to practice, inshallah. So like I said, this kind of lam is called al-Qamariyah. The scholars give a reason for that. Anyway, there are different reasons, but the most preferred reason is that because the lam in the word al-Qamar is more obvious and it's more clearer. So al-Qamar, that's why they use that in particular to name it what? Al-Lamu al-Qamariyah. So we move to the text 26, where Süleyman al-Jamzuri is saying, where Süleyman al-Jamzuri in that, ثانيهما إدغامها في أربع وعشرة أيضا ورمزها فعي. ثانيهما, the second of the two conditions, that's meaning of ثانيهما. إدغام, we already talked about the first of it. So that's idgham is idgham of it, meaning idgham of the lam. We talk about the izhar of the lam, pronouncing the lam clearly. Now we're talking about assimilating the lam into the what? The letter coming after it. Arba'i wa ashara, 4 and 10, meaning 14. Aida means also, or ramzaha means its combination or code. Fa'i comes from ya'i, wa'a ya'i, which means to memorize or to what? To remember. Then waramzaha fa'i appears with a dhamma on the zai. Waramzuha. So in the copy of Jamzuri. So the translation will be and its combination so memorize and its combination so memorizing. So certain prints has it with a fatha on the zai waramzaha. So the translation would then be what? So memorize its combination. So to translate this text 26, so the second of the two conditions is the idgham of it, meaning idgham of the lam at-ta'rif. In 4 and 10, that's in 14 letters also. So memorize its combination. After explaining the first condition, the author begins expanding or expounding upon the second condition, which is what? Idgham. Like izhar. Idgham will also take place if the lam at-ta'rif, definite lam, is followed by 14 letters. The combination to remember these 14 letters are in the initial letters of the words in the following line. That's line 27. Similar to the letters of al-ikhfa. It's just similar to it. طيب ثم صل رحما تفز ضف ذا نعم دع سوء ظن زر شريفا للكرم. طيب بيقول صل join ties, that's family relation. Rahman, family or relation. Tafud, success. ضيف, be hospitable. Good host, be a good host. Dhani'am, possessor of favors or bounties. Da, that's leave or shun. Su'a, that's bad or evil. Zon, that's thought. Zur, that's visit. Sharifa, distinguished, illustrious. Lilkara means for honor and generosity. To explain this, be good, then join family ties and you'll be successful. Be hospitable, be a good host to the possessor of bounty. Shun evil thoughts. Visit the distinguished for generosity. So to explain this line gathers all 14 letters into which idgham of the lam at-ta'rif will be made. If the student learns it, he will easily retain them, knowing that if any of these letters follow the lam at-ta'rif, then idgham will be made. The lam at-ta'rif, the lam will be assimilated into the letter following it. Even though the line contains sound advice, the object is not the meaning. Rather, it provides a means of learning all the 14 letters of what? Of idgham. So the student should note that the alif is not mentioned in any of the two combinations. This is because the alif will never follow the lam at-ta'rif, since both the alif and the lam are sakin or with sukun. Alif is always with sukun. Alif is always with what? Sukun. Some prints have ruhma with idumma on the ra. Dr. Ashraf has given preference to the first, even though the letter will be what? Will be allowed. This is the second condition of lamu or lamu at-ta'rif. The first condition is to pronounce the lam clearly if it appears or if 14 letters appears after it, which are ibri hajjaka wa khudh aqima. Then the second condition is to assimilate the lam into 14 letters, meaning if another 14 letters appear after this lam, you assimilate the lam into the letters. So we already know what is idgham. Idgham is when two letters meet, the first one with sukun, the second one with haraka. You assimilate the first one with sukun into the one with what? With haraka. To form one strong letter. To form one what? One strong letter. Mushaddad. So, and another thing we do when you are doing idgham is that the letter with sukun will change automatically to what? To the letter with haraka, with the letter coming after it. For example, the ta, at-tama, at-tama, at-ta'ifa. So that lam tarif has changed automatically to ta. So it will now become two ta, at-ta. So, but you assimilate the first one into the second one, it will become at-tam, 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 at-tam. Example, as-sa, as-sakha, 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 like that. Almighty Allah make it easier for us. Allahumma ameen. So the one of Shamsi, the one of idgham is also called al-lam al-shamsiyya because of how perfect it is. Should I say perfect? because of how clear and obvious it is too in the word ash-shams, ash-shams, ash-shams. So we have so many examples to give. So example of ra, for example, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Ar-Rahim. Example of that. وَمِن كُلِّ الثَّمَرَاتِ جَعَلَ فِيهَا زَوْجَيْنِ اثْنَيْنِ. الثَّا. The lam changed automatically to tha. الثَّمَرَاتِ. الثَّمَرَاتِ. Example of صَا. الذين يؤمنون بالغيب ويقيمون الصلاة ويقيمون الصلاة ومما رزقناهم ينفقون. الطاء ويحل لهم الطيبات ويحرم عليهم الخبائث. الطيبات. MashaAllah, the example of Ta has reminded me of example al-Kha that I was not able to bring in the letters of al-Izhar Aida. وَيُحَرِّمُ عَلَيْهِمُ الْخَبَائِثِ. Then example of Ta, فَتَلَقَّى آدَمُ مِنْ رَبِّهِ كَلِمَاتٍ فَتَابَ عَلَيْهِ إِنَّهُ هُوَ التواب الرحيم. هو التواب الرحيم. التواب. سين. ولا في السماء. Example of ذال. ذلك نتلوه عليك من الآيات والذكر. The lam has changed to ذال. والذكر الحكيم. Example of دال. فلا تغرنكم الحياة الدنيا ولا يغرنكم بالله الغرور. الدنيا. That's دال. الدنيا. Example of شين. إيلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف. Example of صاد is here too. والصيف. لام. Example of لام. تولج الليل في النهار وتولج النهار في الليل. لام النون together here. Example of زين. فأقيموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة وأطيعوا الله ورسوله والله خبير بما تعملون. Example of نون. والنجم إذا هوى. Another example of نون. ومن الناس من يقول آمنا بالله وباليوم الآخر وما هم بمؤمنين. Just that this one, after you change the lam to noon, then assimilated the noon into another noon, you have to do gunna. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ وَالنَّجْمِ وَالنَّجْمِ. MashaAllah. We ask Almighty Allah to grant us good understanding. Allahumma ameen. We stop here for today, inshaAllah. Subhanakallahumma rabbana bihamdik. أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.